Welcome to Louisiana Heartbeats. I'm Sudie Landry, and I'm excited about the host that I'm going to be today because what's happening is I have the pleasure of introducing a future host of a new cooking show. And this is Brandon Lantier.
Hey, Miss Sudie.
And I don't want to mess up the name of your show, so would you please tell people what the name of the show is going to be called?
It's called Bees Cuisine. I just kind of was playing with what to call it, and everybody's like, Chef this, and they had ideas. And growing up as a kid, everybody either called me B or Little B, so a lot of people around town, that's how they know me. So I just decided, cuisine is the food that from the area or the food that you like to cook, you know what I mean? Italian cuisine, that's from certain areas.
That's right.
And it's just, I guess, kind of a reflection of what I like to cook. So that's...
Well, let me kind of back up a little bit and say, Katie Anna Open Channel has had a cooking show before, and people really seem to enjoy it. But what's so special about this show is the kind of food that Brandon is going to be cooking. And he's going to be sharing tips. And he's also going to be giving resourceful information if you're interested. Now, what am I talking about? We're talking about gluten-free food.
Right.
Not everybody, including myself, knows anything about it other than it's supposed to be very healthy. Mm-hmm. But then, as you know, sometimes it's hard to get the ingredients. So that's the kind of information that when you're going to do your cooking show, you're not only going to be displaying your food, you're going to be talking about how to prepare it. And so you're going to be really interested in anyone that wants to be a part of your show, maybe contacting you later.
Exactly.
And they can check out your email that's up on the screen.
Right. If you have any questions or if you, just want to shoot me an email, it's there. It's LILB as in boy, Z as in zoo, 76@yahoo.com. I'm also going to have a Facebook page that's going to be Bees Cuisine, featuring the dishes that I've done on the show and clips and highlights from the show, as well as other dishes that I've prepared or will be preparing in the future. So all that information will be there, as well as, especially for this area, for Lafayette and the surrounding areas, as you said, the resources to get the food, where to go to get it, and, tips and tricks on how to prepare it, because some of this stuff can be kind of tricky. And when we got into it, it was kind of just like, hey, let's, you learn as you go.
Well, I want to kind of back up a little bit again. Katie Anna, not only am I proud to be a part of this and having Brandon as a guest today, but he's also part of my television crews for a couple of our shows here. And he's been kind of sharing his dreams, and I'm excited to know that you're finally going to do it.
Right. And like I said, quite a few people around here have been bugging, and they're like, just get it done. And I actually had one show scheduled, and we had to reschedule. So a few technical issues here and there, but we're going to get it rolling.
Well, I look forward to spreading the word and possibly finding out and talking to different people who may want to sponsor, become an underwriter of maybe that dish that you're going to be showcasing that week. So I'm excited to be a part of this. Why did you choose to start doing this kind of cooking? Have you always used this?
Well, growing up in this area, we like to eat, we like to cook. And, I've been cooking since I was knee-high to a tadpole, they like to say. But really what it was, my grandmother, she would cook, and, she would pull a chair next to her, and I'd climb up on the chair and watch. And, it started with scrambled eggs and then breakfast, and then it grew into, gumbos and rice and gravies and just everything that the South has to offer. And, like I said, we love food. It's not just... everybody's like, well, anybody can cook. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, in Louisiana,
cannot.
Pretty much everybody is like chef quality cook. If you grew up in a home in this area and it wasn't gumbos or sauce pecans or, the laundry list of food that we like to cook.
Well, Brandon, I can honestly tell you, you just said the truth, but I'm not originally from here, and I did not know how to cook. I did not know how delicious food could be. I will never see at this time a size 3, 4, 5 again, but who cares? The food is wonderful, but the heritage here is awesome.
Right.
But lately, people are bringing to the table, like the saying is now, interest of different food people who like certain types of food. Now, you Did you have any professional training outside of just, number one, you love to cook, number two, you love watching your grandmother? Did you get any kind of outside education?
Actually, my best education I would have to say was probably LPB PBS, Public Broadcasting. And I
okay.
grew up watching Julia Child, Jack Papan, Martin Yan can cook, Jeff Smith, the Frugal Gourmet, and of course Justin Wilson. And all the local, I say local, but that was what was on TV. It was me and my step-grandfather would watch all the cooking shows, and then we'd watch like Doctor Who and McNeil Lehrer, So, but that was me like glued to the TV watching.
So you've had this interest and this passion deep down inside for many years.
Right.
And you loved cooking.
Yeah.
And you also going to be sharing with us some of your dishes on the screen later.
Yes.
So that's going to be very interesting. If anyone would be interested in maybe finding out more about you, then they can check out your email, send you a question or something?
Oh, yeah, like I said, shoot me a question. If you want, you can look me up on Facebook. It's just Brandon Lantier. I have made the Bees Cuisine page. So far, I've only had like the design picture, and I really haven't got it together yet. Because I haven't done the first episode, but I'm gonna start pulling pictures together of the stuff that I've cooked in the past, putting the recipes together. But I kind of want to do it through the show first, and then I'll grow the page. But what I will do is put the resources, like I said, for when we first started.
Send you in the right direction if you need to.
Yeah, like because people say gluten free, and some people for some people it's a fad, for others it's a detrimental way of life. People with celiac disease, they cannot tolerate it. They get supremely sick with many health issues that go with it. And then there's people that are gluten sensitive. There's varying degrees of it.
Well, for people like me that doesn't know anything like that, what you're telling us is volumes of interest that we need to be educated on.
Right.
We may have someone in our family that would benefit
exactly.
from
And
this.
they may not even know. And that's the biggest problem for a lot of people is, they're fine, or they think they're fine, and then they get a little bit older and they start having stomach issues, or they start developing like a rash, or, whatever it may be, and they don't really realize what it is. And with things like that, it's kind of like a trial and error. You have to eliminate certain things, and it's kind of like testing for allergies. You go to the doctor and they do a block test.
Yes.
And they put all the dots on your back, and they got the allergens, and then the ones that you're allergic to, you slowly weed out. So you pull that out of your diet, or you augment it, and So that was just one of the processes for us. And when we first started getting into this, like I said, it's trial by error, and try by doing.
So when you say we, is there someone else that's partnering with you?
Yeah, actually, my mother, right now, we call her
Nellie.
Miss Nellie Harrington. She's also part of the AOC family, and she is also a guest host on Bob's show,
That's right.
Bobby Avenue Insight to Mental Health, which I also direct for. So,
Right.
But yeah, she's into naturopathic healing and stuff, and getting healthy and well-being. So she realized that she had the tolerance to it, or the intolerance to it. So once again, it's okay, let's try the bread, or
Right.
you have to start eliminating certain things, and then found out that that's what it was. It was that sensitivity to the gluten.
Well, I also know that I've been down that path with my older son, getting tested, finding out what he was allergic to, and things that he could not have, and trying to find substitutes to fill in the void. It's really hard when you got a little 2-year-old who sees everybody else eating chocolate cookies.
Right.
But I had no idea, and I forgot the name of it, but there was a special store I had to go to that had the substitute. So while his friends at the nursery were eating their chocolate cookies, he had his special candy. But he still wanted that chocolate cookie.
Well,
but he learned that he felt better as he got older. And he has, thank God, outgrown all of that. But I really think it's because of adjusting to eat the right foods. So the allergy, he was very asthmatic at the time, and he's in a hospital picture of health one minute, and the next day he's in the hospital with pneumonia, you know?
And that was my story.
You know?
I've gone in and out of the hospital with pneumonia, asthmatic. I mean, you probably can hear I wheeze. So, one, not just the allergies. Louisiana is famous for
Yes.
allergies.
Yes.
As far as all the pollens and it stays wet and the mold. So,
Well, I have a little, actually, she's 15 months old now, great-granddaughter, and she will be going through some testing this Friday because she has come up with rashes, and they don't know what it is, so we will be finding out, and I'm sure there's going to be a big adjustment in the whole household,
Yeah.
what to cook and not to cook, but it's worth it. But we don't know until we have the problem. We
Well,
don't take it serious until we have the problem.
it even comes
or
to
we know someone that has the problem.
exactly, and it
Then
even
you
like you
find out.
mentioned, I didn't realize how far it carried into. It's not just eating the food. If you cook something around somebody that has an allergy,
I know.
it could be in the air, and it's like perfumes and all the other stuff, the chemical sprays that most people use. You don't think, okay, well, you put your cologne perfume, and you're like, okay, I go about my day, and then somebody walks by you and they go into a sneezing fit, just passing by you. So
Yes.
one person may be perfectly fine, but other people are so allergic to it that they go into fits.
Well, I think by when you'll be airing your show, probably within the next month, I think that it's going to be non-series, which means it'll get a lot of play
Yeah.
until you get more episodes and support, and then you'll probably become a series.
Right.
But I know with the last cooking show that we did, I mean, just the idea of this being so different, Brandon, I really look forward to learning myself, And so right now, why don't we just kind of start showing some of those dishes that you have actually created, and then we can come back to talking about other stuff.
Okay.
So you want to start?
Yeah. Okay. So what we have here is it's just a pan seared salmon with the vegetable pasta. It's like spinach and different vegetables, carrots. And this is one of the things that a lot of people, when you say gluten-free, they think, okay, well, automatically I got to get rid of bread, I got to get rid of pasta, I got to get rid of all the good stuff that I like to eat. No, that's not true. It's just that you have to modify it a little bit. So like with the pasta, it's rice. It's not flour. You know what I mean? It's not wheat. It's a rice blend.
Okay.
Or they make it out of vegetables. So you can find these ingredients, in a lot of the health food stores. And there's different locations. Like I said, I'll put the resources on my webpage, or you can email me if you have questions about it. So it's just pasta and salmon with a garlic sauce.
Well, I know I'm going to be real hungry after we go through all these pictures, so.
Yeah.
You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead and give us the next one, Kenna. Okay, and this one, once again, pasta. Everybody, this one is multifaceted because it's not only is it pasta, but it's a breading. That's a eggplant parmesan, and it's just spaghetti noodles, but it's a rice noodle, once again, instead of a wheat noodle. And the breading itself is a gluten-free breading. And it's basically done the same way as you would an eggplant parmesan. It's just, it's gluten-free, and people aren't gonna react to it.
Healthier choice, healthier recipe.
Yeah, you say healthier, but it's for people with a sensitivity, it's just the ability to eat it. Now, I'm not gonna give you the calorie content on that thing because I don't know. I don't count calories.
That's where we want to make it clear, but we'll talk about that a little bit
Yeah,
later. Okay. I wrote it down. I want to do that one. Next.
Okay, this I did 2 days ago. This is stuffed bell pepper, okay, with
Love stuff.
with what looks like chicken is actually buffaloed cauliflower. Because not only have I gone gluten free, we also we gave up meat. I gave up meat and started eating mostly vegetables. Now I still do eat fish and I still do eat eggs, but as far as chicken and beef, and I gave up pork a long time ago, and I found that I personally had lost close to 30 pounds. I mean, I was 160, and for my height, that's not good.
Right.
So now I'm down to right at 130 and I'm healthier than I've ever been. I mean, when I came out of high school, I was really healthy, so probably.
Well, the
right
next
around
time
there.
you come on the show, I'm going to demand that you bring us a plate.
Well,
of
that's for
something.
sure, and we'll do it. I'm gonna have you as a guest, as you
Yeah,
know,
that's gonna
and
be
we'll
awesome.
do some stuff and cook.
That's
Because
gonna
I've
be
seen some of
wonderful.
your stuff too, as well, that you post on Facebook, and like.
I like unique stuff. I
right.
like stuff. I like easy stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I saw that too, and it was you got cookies and other stuff that I.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing too, is that I see stuff that you use, and my mind goes, how can I modify this?
That's what I love.
How can I modify this to make it gluten free?
Well, I had no idea so many people, look, if I won't use the recipe, I don't usually post it.
Right.
But as you know, people are going to tweak it. And if you can take that recipe and make it even better and substitute for people who are on that special choice of food, that is awesome. That's a compliment. I look forward to that. But I know for a fact that I love the broccoli, and I love all that cauliflower and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
see,
can
I
talk
like-
about that later.
I went kind of bad and I fried it, but you can bake it. You know what I mean? You talk about healthy. That's one of the things that I love about cooking is that you can modify it in so many ways. You don't have to follow the recipe exactly, and that I always start with a base, but at the same time I modify my food to my taste. And cooking is very personal. Like with this picture now, okay, most people think, okay, like I said, you got to give up certain things when you go gluten-free. It's not true. You just have to learn the different ingredients. This is a roux, okay, and this is I use a blend that uses multiple types of flour. So it'd be like a brown white rice, a white rice. They use like potato starch because individually, like brown rice has certain qualities. It's real grainy and gritty. And you can use it for certain things. But when you make that blend, it ends up being more like a regular white flour. So it's the same process and the same steps. It looks different. And I was kind of worried the first time I made it because I've made roux millions of times,
Yes.
over and over. And when I cook gumbo or stews, I don't do jar.
Yeah?
I know for convenience,
me.
a lot of people do, but I like to make my roux from scratch. So when I did it the first time, I was like, oh man, I'm so nervous.
Well, after
And
we
it
get through
came
all
out
of these
great.
pictures, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about those 3 different categories.
Okay.
Gluten-free, the modified versus the healthy, and the
Right.
difference.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay. This
yeah.
is a tortilla pizza. And actually, I got to give this credit to Nell because she made it. So, this is another one of the things, too, is learning about how to use gluten-free products. With a regular tortilla, usually you can just put stuff in it and cook it. With the gluten-free, because the binding, the gluten is what makes bread chewy, and it gives it that pull. You know what I mean? And
No,
it helps
I do
keep
now,
it,
though.
well, and that's another thing we'll
Wow.
go over is it helps keep it together. So without that, you have to find alternatives like tapioca starch and other ingredients. So with this, what you have to do is you kind of have to treat it in the pan and cook the tortilla first. And it's a process. And it's, like I said, if you don't know and you just go try to treat this like a regular tortilla, you're going to end up with a mess.
They're not gonna get the
No, you're going
finished
to end up with a
product.
mess. And when I tell you that is a double-decker pizza, but it's not actually pizza crust, it's just tortillas. So almost like
Hey.
Mexican pizza style, but tomatoes, olives, a little bit of dressing, and she went kind of all out on that one. So I figured I'd share.
Was there any left?
No.
No, okay. Then it was delicious. Okay, next.
Okay, this is just the beginning of Cabbage Rolls. I was going to show the finished product, but I never got around to taking the picture because they got demolished. But, and this is one of those things, too, that it's gluten-free for the most part. There's no meat in it. I use, it's different types of rice. I use like wild rices or heartier rices, brown rices, because they end up being more like meat. And there's also substitutes. We use a product that's it's made out of nuts, and it's ground fine, and it'll also be. I'll list it on my with
Yeah.
the resources.
And so if people have other allergy to nuts and stuff, then you will be able to tell them, do not
use this product. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But what it does is it basically acts like a filler. It's you can use it as a thickener, but it also provides the extra protein that you would be missing because your meat's not there.
Okay.
So, and it just is incredible.
Sounds like we have a lot to learn.
Oh God! Just this
Yeah.
one product, you can use it to coat stuff, and you can use it like I said, as a thickener and a filler. When I make vegetable spaghetti, I add it in there, and if you ask anybody, they would tell you there was meat in it, right?
Awesome.
You know, so
Yeah, right. So substitute meat.
exactly.
That's interesting. Do we have another picture?
Yeah, we have
after
a
this?
couple more. Mac and cheese, you know, and this is what I like to do. It's like simple indulgence, right? People go gluten-free once again, like with the pasta. You can't do it because, you know, no, you can. You just have to know what pastas to use, and I mean, it's mac and cheese. I mixed everything up, put some cheese on top, and baked it off, you know.
That should go over real well with a lot of kids. Hey, our show is just moving right on. Okay.
Let's see one more. Okay, and that's spring roll. I mean, you know, once again, people like meat. Yeah, they're like, I gotta have meat with everything, and
Yeah.
you can get spring rolls with shrimp or pork and everything, but you can also do them just basic vegetables, and they're just as good. I find they're just as good, you know. So, but that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the variety. I like to do a wide variety of food, so it's gonna be local, and we're gonna do a lot of local dishes.
Well, go ahead and go back to the widescreen, and that's
ahead.
what we're going to talk about. All right. We got another one?
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, let's talk about the different things that you want to do on the show. What you just said.
Well,
Repeat.
like I said, my first dish I was gonna start local.
Okay, local.
I was just gonna do I was thinking flounder, but it'll be a fish coubillon, which
Okay.
is for people who don't know, it's just a fish, red sauce, tomato gravy, vegetables, rice, and then on the side I was gonna do a little take on potato salad. Like I said, I was gonna make like a potato salad mousse almost, and then pipe it into the eggs. So it'd be like potato salad deviled egg.
That's delicious
And
sounding.
then for dessert, it would be a like a chocolate bread pudding, since bread pudding is like New Orleans, Louisiana. So the first show is going to be home based. Where it
I
goes
think I
from
should have eaten it before we came. My stomach's growling.
where it goes from there, I have no idea. I mean, right now I have so many ideas in the works. We're going to play with it. We're going to have fun. Nell has some great ideas that she threw at me. We're going to do like skit type stuff. So
Okay.
not just
You're going to cook, you're going to educate, and you're going to entertain.
and have fun. Exactly.
have fun.
That's going to be the whole thing about it. Is you know, as far as the gluten free, it's going to be incorporated into every show pretty much, but it's not going to be every show. It's not going to be just that. I want a world.
You're going to just be a
Yeah,
chef
it's gonna be
cooking
a-
many cultures.
Yeah, I love Thai food. I love Vietnamese, Chinese, you know, Indian.
And you're going to
South
put your take
American.
on it,
Exactly.
your spin to
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Well, I'm going to reverse a little bit and let Acadiana know that you're watching a future special cooking show that Brandon Lantier is going to be showcasing different cultures, and he's going to give tips on how to make it gluten-free, or he's going to answer questions that you need. But let's back up. What is gluten-free? The definition, very simple, outside of Webster's dictionary.
Well, like I said, gluten free is just it's a binder that you find in wheat.
Doesn't have to go real long. I just want to briefly say, what is gluten-free compared to healthy? What's the biggest difference?
But that's another misconception. It's not really health. It's just an intolerance. It's the inability for some people to actually process. It's like a dairy intolerance or anything else. If you have a lactose intolerance, which 2/3 of the world is actually
Right.
lactose intolerant,
Right.
a third can kind of process dairy products, but not to the point where, like, people still have allergies to it, even they're milder. So it's just a matter of you can't eat corn, you can't eat certain
Okay,
types of food.
Chef B, I have a question for someone, and I think you'll be able to answer this. What would be your spin on someone who loves hamburgers but doesn't want to continue eating the beef? What would you suggest? What would you use? What would you do?
Well, and that's another great thing. Like I said,
You're making it possible for ones of
Me-
us that normally eat a certain way to be able to have another choice.
okay.
Okay.
To give you the example, I am a rice and gravy baby.
Okay.
Coming up, steak and rice and potatoes and all that, hamburgers, meat. I did my fair share of beef.
Okay.
So it would just be vegetables. You know, you can take your vegetables. A lot of times I'll take a bag of frozen vegetables, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, and you just saute them in a pan, and then you kind of either process them very lightly, put them together, make a patty. You can use black beans, rice.
I love all that.
That product that I
Yes.
was telling you about,
Yes.
it works well as a binder, and you can make
Okay.
like a veggie burger.
That's what I was aiming for, because I love those veggie burgers.
Oh, man.
Well, as we have to make this announcement, it's at the end of our show
I know,
already.
it went so fast. Oh
But
my
you know what,
God.
Acadiana, this cooking show is going to be up and on the air within a month, at least a month and a half.
I'm looking to.
So the people can look forward to tuning in to probably both channels, AOC, Channel 15, Cox Cable, or Channel 16.
Right.
Be sure to tune in every now, Monday nights at 9 p.m. It just might be you or Brandon that we're showcasing. Until then, if you would like to see a certain dish, maybe possibly cooked on his show, then shoot him an email and maybe he could come up with something and give you an idea
Yes.
how
And
you
I'm-
can tweak it.
I'm real quick. I'm looking to have guest chefs, and that's another thing too. Is we want to highlight people around Acadiana. So if you have a recipe you want to share, or if you have information that you want to share, contact me through my email, or once again through Facebook, Brandon Lantier, and just let us know.
Well, this has been a wonderful show. It's been an exciting show. It's made me hungry, and now I don't know what I'm going to do other than maybe take you home and make you cook for me.
I
But
can do
seriously, I know that's true. I know that's true. And I want to thank Acadiana for giving us this opportunity to have this show and talk about you and your ideas and your dreams that's now going to become a reality. Thank you for being on the show, Brandon.
I wanted to
love
thank you for having me.
Well, I'm proud that you're on our team. So we want to be on your team too.
Cool.
Thank you, Acadiana. We look forward to you being a part of anything that we do.